Have you ever noticed this strange moment? Someone smiles at you. They say something simple, and suddenly, your mind goes empty. Not compty, panic empty. You feel the pressure to say something. Anything. And the harder you try, the quieter your thoughts become. Here's the part no one tells you. This isn't because you're boring. It's not because you're socially awkward. And it's definitely not because you're bad with people. It's because your brain is doing too much work at the wrong time. Stay with me. Because by the end of this video, you'll understand exactly why this happens. It's more important. How to make conversation feel natural again without memorizing lines, forcing confidence, or becoming someone you're not. And the final idea I'll share, that's the one that quietly changes how people experience you forever. Picture this. You're at a party, a work event, or even just waiting in line somewhere. Someone starts talking to you. At first it's fine, but then there's a pause. And inside your head, a meeting begins. One voice says, say something smart. Another says, don't be weird. Another says, if you mess this up, they'll remember forever. And while they're all arguing, you say, nothing. Later, when you're alone, the words come flooding back. You should have said that. That would have been perfect. That delays the point. The problem isn't lack of thoughts, it's over-filtering. Once you see how that filter works, you can finally turn it down. We're going to break this into 6 simple ideas. Why your brain freezes at the worst possible moment. The rule that shuts down overthinking in real time. How great conversationalists use not knowing as a weapon, the hidden structure inside every story people tell. What to say when your mind genuinely goes blank, and finally, how to leave conversations feeling respected, not awkward. Let's start with the real cause. Your brain has 2 main modes during conversation. One is expression, the other is evaluation. Expression creates thoughts. Evaluation judges them. When conversation flows, expression leads and evaluation follows later. When your mind goes blank, evaluation hijacks the process. Your brain starts asking, is this interesting enough? Will they judge me? Is this the best thing to say? Here's the paradox. The moment you try to say the perfect thing, you shut down the system that creates anything at all. This is why smart, thoughtful people freeze more often than others. They have more internal filters, not fewer ideas. The solution isn't confidence, it's timing. Which brings us to a deceptively simple rule. Here's the rule. Your first usable thought is usually good enough. Your second thought is usually fear. When someone says something to you, your brain generates multiple responses instantly, and the filter kicks in and starts deleting them. So instead of asking, what's the best thing to say, ask this. What's the first honest reaction I had? Say that, not the polished version, not the impressive version. The human version. Someone says, I just moved here. Your first thought might be, that must have been stressful. Oh, where from? Wow, brave move. Any one of those opens a door. The mistake is waiting for the perfect door instead of walking through an open one. Conversation rewards motion, not precision. And once you start moving, something interesting happens. The most magnetic people aren't the ones who prove how much they know. This is where strategic curiosity comes in. Instead of adding information, you remove it. When someone mentions their job, their hobby, their experience, resist the urge to show competence. Say things like, what's that actually like day to day? What surprised you most when you started? What do people get wrong about that? This works for a simple psychological reason. People love explaining their world to someone who is genuinely curious. You're not lowering your intelligence, you're redirecting attention. Think about great interviewers. They ask simple questions, not because they're clueless, but because simplicity invites depth. And depth is where connection lives. Let's go deeper. Every time someone speaks, they're offering more than one topic. Most people only hear one. Let's say someone tells you, I had plans this weekend, but they fell apart, so I ended up doing something totally different. Inside that sentence are multiple threads. Expectations versus reality, disappointment, adaptability, surprise emotion. Here's the upgrade. Instead of responding to one thread, acknowledge 2. For example, that sounds frustrating, but also kind of freeing. How did it end up turning out? This does 2 things. It proves you're listening emotionally. Not just logically, it gives them multiple paths forward. People feel understood when you reflect complexity, not just facts. And when someone feels understood, they relax. Relaxed people talk more. Here's where conversations quietly transform. Instead of asking one question and switching topics, you follow the energy downward. Surface question gives experience, gives meaning. Example. They say, I just got back from a conference. Surface. How was it? Experience. What stood out the most? Meaning, did it change how you think about your work? Notice what happened? You didn't become more interested. You became more present. This is the secret. Depth doesn't come from dramatic stories. It comes from sustained attention. Most people never get this kind of attention, which is why they remember the ones who get it. Even with all this, silence still happens. That's normal. So instead of panicking, prepare. Here are a few lifelines that work almost anywhere. 1. Observation with curiosity. This place has a very specific vibe. How do you feel about it? 2. Reflection that sounds like it meant more to you than you expected. 3. Gentle contrast. Was that better or worse than you thought it would be? 4. Callbacks. You mentioned earlier you almost didn't go. What changed your mind? These aren't tricks, they're invitations. And invitations keep conversations alive. Now, one final skill that separates socially graceful people from everyone else. Most people either disappear suddenly or stay too long out of politeness. There's a better way. A graceful exit has 3 parts. Appreciation. I've really enjoyed this conversation. Reason not personal. I'm going to grab a drink before the line gets long. Bridge. Let's continue this later. This leaves people feeling respected, not rejected. Here's the deeper truth. People don't remember every word you said. They remember how the interaction ended well. Here's the real shift I want you to take with you. Conversation is not a performance. It's not about being impressive. It's not about having the right lines. It's about creating safety for thought to happen out loud. When you stop trying to be interesting and start being interested, when you let your first honest reaction speak, when you allow curiosity to lead instead of fear, people don't just talk to you more. They feel calmer around you, more seen, more human, and that's rare. So the next time your mind goes quiet, don't panic. Silence isn't failure, it's space. And now you know how to use it. If this resonated, take a moment to reflect on the last conversation you had. What would you say differently?